We represent Kristen Fry in her lawsuit against the Denver Public Schools. Ms. Fry is a parent of students in the school system who spoke up at some school board meetings to express concerns. Rather than having her ideas considered in good faith, she found herself subjected to a false criminal prosecution for an alleged hate crime. Ms. Fry was innocent, as evidence that later came out showed. We are joining Ms. Fry's fight to help her regain her reputation and also to send a message that this kind of retaliatory bullying will not be tolerated.
Mountain States has had over 200 media hits this year. Some of our most credible outlets that have featured our cases or our attorneys have been Fox News, The Washington Post, and other news outlets across the country.
I'm happy to talk to you about our Idaho stock water case in federal court up in Boise, Idaho. In that case, the U.S. federal government has decided it can opt out of state water law to the detriment of ranchers. We represent those ranchers in the case. I argued the case on behalf of the ranchers last January. We were excited to get a great ruling in August, requiring the U.S. government to do what the law requires it to do, which is to play ball and play on a level playing field in Idaho and other western states and state law.
Hi, I'm Will Trackman, General Counsel here at Mountain States Legal Foundation. From us to you, we wish you a happy season, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. This fourth day of Christmas, we're celebrating the 4 complaints that we filed with the Office for Civil Rights in Washington, D.C. Those complaints were against Denver Public Schools, UC Berkeley, and the National Speech and Debate Association, all for race discrimination in their operations. And OCR complaints are a unique part of the mosaic. In addition to our lawsuits, we filed these complaints to make sure that we can have these schools come into compliance. So with that, again, happy holidays and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to all of you. Thank you for your support throughout the year.
Each year, Mountain States sends out 5 publications, 4 of which are our quarterly newsletter called The Litigator, and our last one is called The Legacy Review.
On this 6th day of Christmas, we're recognizing the 6 times that we went to hearings before federal courts this year. We are very excited to represent the Constitution across our practice areas, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, natural resources and property rights, and equal protection in courts throughout the country, including in Colorado, New Mexico, Washington, D.C., and elsewhere. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and thank you so much for your support throughout 2024.
In our case, Ortega v. Grisham, we are challenging New Mexico's recent attack on individual liberty under the Second Amendment. In this case specifically, we're dealing with the 7-day waiting period on all New Mexico citizens. It places an undue delay on receiving a firearm after purchase, regardless of whether or not your background check comes back as positive. These attacks simply cannot stand, and winning this case has the potential to put a stop to arbitrary waiting periods just like this across the country.
I'm happy to talk to you about our case, Ace Black Ranches, where we represent a family ranch up in Idaho, where the U.S. federal government, the EPA, has asserted that it can come on to this ranch property and tell the property owners what to do with their property, to the tune likely of millions and millions of dollars. Now, the federal government filed a lawsuit. We successfully moved to dismiss that lawsuit. The government can't just bully landowners around by saying it has the power to, and that's the end of the story because it says so. So we are grateful for the opportunity to represent Ace Black Ranches in that case.
On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 Supreme Court justices trying to determine if the ATF overstepped its regulatory authority. Yes, I'm talking about the Vanderstock case, and let's hope that we don't have to get through all 12 days of Christmas or wait till the 11th hour before the Supreme Court issues its decision in this case, which Mountain States Legal Foundation argued in front of the Supreme Court just this past October. This case deals with another rule that the ATF issued under the Biden administration, which tries to do an end run around Congress and the separation of powers that were established in our Constitution. They're trying to regulate and control those Americans who like to manufacture their own firearms and privately make their own guns. We think this is a complete violation of the separation of powers, as I said, because Congress has repeatedly chosen over and over and over again over the last 50 years not to bring privately made firearms under the same regulatory umbrella that other manufacturers of firearms as well as firearms dealers have to deal with. And so for this reason, we're hoping that the Supreme Court issues a decision striking the ATF's rule down, and we look forward to that, hopefully in the spring.
It's been a very busy year here at Mountain States Legal Foundation. This year, we launched 10 new direct representation cases, 5 of them in the area of free speech. To take just one example, we launched a case for the Young Americans for Freedom against the University of California at Los Angeles that arose out of UCLA's discrimination against conservative and pro-Israel points of view being expressed on their campus. That's a violation of the First Amendment, and we're proud to join YAF's fight against UCLA.
All right, for day 11 of our 12 days of Christmas, we have our 11 victories for the year. My personal favorite is our Moms for Liberty case, where we're representing Moms for Liberty trying to halt the Biden administration's Title IX changes that would require students to use anyone's specific pronouns they want to use, and would also allow students to self-designate which locker rooms they want to use and which sports they want to compete in with which sexes. Thankfully, we got a nationwide injunction on that, where any Moms for Liberty member, if they have a child at that school, that injunction applies there, and those new rules do not apply.
On this 12th day of Christmas, we're recognizing the 12 appellate circuit courts throughout the country. I'm coming to you from the 10th Circuit, which is where Denver is, but these courts are around the country, and we practice in many or all of them because we want to be there throughout the fight. Our name is Mountain States Legal Foundation, but we're national in impact. So we're in the DC Circuit, we're in the 1st Circuit in the Northeast. We're all over the country representing the Constitution and making sure that our rights are preserved. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year. Thank you for your support this year.